been a crazy month actually, not just a week this time, in my life as I've traveled the world building businesses. And this week I'm coming to you from Zion National Park. I'll tell you why in a minute. Here is what has been happening over the last month. What's up, guys?
Hi.
Have fun? All right, so change of plans. Been here all day and it was 100% quiet. And then we just had about 12 mountain bikers come up, but arguably this is an even better view, and fingers crossed you might see them doing some flips right behind me. So let's keep the camera running and see what happens. Where were we? Okay, so the last 5 weeks have been a blur. I spent a month in Argentina locking in on some big swing business moves. I spent a week in the US catching up with my dad and Bobby and Skoshi, who is adorable as always. And along the way, I've hired 2 C-suite roles across my portfolio, which is probably the hardest thing I've done for a number of reasons. I'll tell you why later on. I also have been trying to keep myself active, going to the gym 3 times a week. I made myself a goal to run 200 kilometers in a month, and I didn't get anywhere near it because I gave up because I thought I actually don't like running anymore, or at least not at this phase of my life. I guess there's a lesson in there somewhere. I detoured to Paraguay for 5 days. I ate steak pretty much every day. And the thing that stands out the most to me across all of this is that I actually had a home that felt like home, and I haven't had that for a long time. And it wasn't because of the place, and it wasn't because of the furniture, and it wasn't because of anything that you might think. I'll tell you why later on. It's been epic, but rather than me rambling on about it, let me just show you what this last little while has been like. And there you go. That was a little bit of a highlight reel of the past month, but I don't always just want to show highlight reels. That's why these Monday journals exist, is to show the realities, the ups, the downs, the challenges, the wins, everything in between. So now I just want to show you the reality, all the behind the scenes stuff, no hype reel, just showing you what it's actually been like.
Pero por qué?
Because I don't know, no sé, pero no sé.
Sí, señor, por favor.
Por mangiare.
Maybe I need to learn Spanish.
No, ¿por qué no?
Is it gluten without gluten?
It says it doesn't matter what cards you're dealt, it matters what you do with them.
Yeah, but that was because of the technical difficulties. Next time it'll take 2.
Thank you guys for cooking.
Alright, Hugo, Alex.
But it's not finished. What makes it is the sauce.
Five 27 a.m. Campfire chat time once a month. All of our Artemundo's members from around the world jump on and we facilitate connection and business problem solving. I'm feeling good about the call. It's gone great so far. We've got 31 or 32 people. Yeah, I've got another hour to go. Right now everyone is in a breakout room and they're problem solving. So we got them to do some journaling on what's the one thing holding their business back. And now the goal is use the collective wisdom of the room and solve it. Overcome that problem. Awesome. Thanks, crew. So good to have you here. Today, my dad is going to teach us how to shoot. Something a little bit different to the usual
Stand by. Shoot.
Ooh.
Excellent. I'm going to call that excellent also.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Great job.
What's that? Is that what them, one of them newfangled cameras? Oh, wait. Wrong personality. I see you've come here to meet a 4-time Hall of Famer and living legend. And this one's mine.
What's the goodness? I think
It's paper.
Wow, that's a cool pocket.
What pocket?
Exactly.
Happy birthday. This is my favorite.
Hey.
Hello?
There's nothing worse than those times.
Because it's a spy.
You're gonna hurt you.
Oh my gosh, more paper.
What?
You open it. It's yours.
It's this thing.
It's a battery. Ah. It's so big.
Whoa, see?
It's for boys, so I could take it.
Thank you.
And there you go. That's what I've been doing with my life since my last video. Now I want to share what I've been thinking about. And I've got some notes here to help me stay on track because there have been a lot of influential people in my life over the past month and I've gleaned learnings from all of them and I want to share some of those learnings with you today. So I have 5 learnings all across different areas, but all of which I think are valuable. If not for you, at least for me to look back on. My first learning is all around improving products. This is a business learning. And I think that Art of Mondays and the Founder Sports Club have been great at MVPing products and great at marketing as well. But we have, between myself and Jai, we've never been someone who is a product person. We do our best, we always innovate, we try to bring in new features. But the reality is like we're also running multiple businesses and have our fingers in many different pies. So we realized, okay, we need product help. Where do we start? We have so many ideas, but how do we know what our customers actually want? It might seem obvious, ask them. So we sent out a survey and we've sent out many surveys in the past. This one was different because this was just 4 questions. And I'll share a link in the description to an article that inspired us this survey coming from the founder of Superhuman, which is an email platform that we use. And I love it, I use it every day. Basically just makes email much faster, much more efficient. So actually I'll share a link for that as well if you want to get a free month, or I'm sure there's some sort of referral link that I can hook you up with. But the point is that this survey allows us to get a quantitative number based on the qualitative question. So after running all of the surveys, sending it to every single member, not just a once-off email blast, but literally DMing everybody, we were then left with a score out of 100% of what our product market fit is. And now, not only do we have that number so that we can compare it in months' time when we run the same survey, but we also have feedback and language used directly by our customers and our members so that we can then implement those ideas. Because this survey, of course, has brought out themes, most of which we already knew, but it's nice to now have some evidence to support our ideas. And we now have a long list of experiments that we're going to run and try to provide as much value as we can for our members. So if you're watching this, get excited. There's a lot of good stuff coming to both the Founder Family and the Founder Sports Club. Speaking of value, real value and perceived value, in my opinion, real value is what someone gets. It's a fact. It's a fact that if someone gets an Art of Mondays membership, they get access to like-minded founders in different industries who are in similar or further ahead revenue brackets. That is real value because that happens and you cannot argue that. Once you're in the community, access is granted. Perceived value is different. Perceived value is something that can happen without someone realizing it. That means that there is value to be extracted. For example, someone could join Art of Mondays for the business opportunities, the networking, leveling up, being surrounded by other people, and the wisdom that they can impart results in business growth. However, they might not realize that their friendship circle has changed as a result of being part of the community. And fast forward 6 months, 12 months, they're living with Art of Mondays founders, other members, and they're recognizing that, yep, like my business is going great, but maybe something that isn't front of mind is like the people they're with. Actually, that wouldn't have happened if not for the Art of Mondays connection in the first place. So I'm not saying that's everyone or anyone, but just using that for illustrative purposes. So something that we're working on is how can we firstly increase the real value, make sure everyone extracts as much opportunity as they can from the membership. But secondly, how can we allow everyone to understand all of the value that is on offer and extract the things that they are not already doing? So that's an interesting thought, interesting thread to pull. I'll keep you updated on how we go on that. The other thing on the value piece, something that we're doing across all of our businesses is reducing the time to value, or as we like to say, time to fun. And to do that, it really just requires getting value into the hands of customers as soon as possible. If someone signs up and they have to wait a month before the product is delivered, then that's a very, very different experience to someone who signs up and gets immediate positive gratification. And whether that be the product or some sort of gamification or some sort of dopamine hit, it's very different. This is also something we're exploring with the Founder Sports Club, by the way, because our previous model was to match founders once a month, which was both good and not so good at the same time, depending on at what period of the month you joined. We might get some flips here soon, hopefully. But now we're recognizing, okay, if someone joins in the second week of the month, we don't want them to have to wait to the first week of the next month to get their value and to meet those like-minded founders and play sports. So we're going back to the drawing board there and trying to reduce that time to value to not weeks, but minutes, hours, same day value. The next thing I've been thinking of is the reason why I'm here in Zion National Park, or just around the corner from it, is the idea of taking time off. I was really uncomfortable to take time off. And by the way, I'll make a whole video vlog style of my time here in the national parks, road tripping in that thing with Rach. But it was really uncomfortable to take this time off because I haven't taken proper time offline for more than 2 or 3 days in as long as I can remember. Because when I took holidays from old jobs, I was still freelancing on the side, which meant that this one was actually a really difficult decision because it was going to reset my operating system, like me personally, not my computer. But that's exactly why I was like, yeah, I need to do that. I don't like the idea that I wake up every day and my mind goes straight to work. I need to remember that I'm human and our time on earth is finite, and I want to work to live, not live to work. So that's why I decided to take this time offline. And my message here is do it when it's uncomfortable. Take time off when you feel like there's too much going on, because there's always going to be too much going on. As long as it's not going to break your company and you've got a proper handover in place and someone to cover for you when you're off. But I think the really positive flow and effect that will come from this is that when I go back online in 2 weeks, I am going to understand, firstly, I'm going to be re-energized and excited to improve product and improve everything. But also I'm going to quickly come back and understand where the cracks were, where the holes were, what was not able to be done while I was away, and therefore what was too reliant on me. So looking forward to discovering that process, and then that gives me a roadmap to what I need to automate or systemize or hire for when I come back. Speaking of systems, that's my number 3 learning, and this is coming from the My First Million podcast, which is probably quoted from somewhere else. This is probably a 5th degree quote, but it is: a founder doesn't rise to the level of their willpower, they fall to the level of their systems. And my next insight comes from Rock, my dad. So also I know he watches every single one of these. So hi Rock, hi Bobby, hi Skoshi. We don't spend that much time together, but when we do, I feel like I always learn something because he's a very smart person. And he has, that's going to inflate his ego even more, I guarantee it. But he has spent his whole life as a professional wrestler. He grew up as a small, skinny kid with not too much in North Carolina, in the middle of nowhere. So whenever I see him and he puts on his Mr. Wonderful character, it just reminds me that anything is possible. And the biggest reason for anything being possible in his case was a change of environment. Moving from North Carolina to California, Hollywood, being amongst it all, being in proximity to people who could open doors, and taking a bet on himself. I think that's always really cool. And the second thing, insight from spending time with Rock, is that health is, oh damn, I thought I was gonna do a jump, is that health is wealth. We went to the gym together, and I don't think I've ever done that in my life, so that was actually a kind of a special moment. I was able to outdo him on the bench press, but he outdid me on everything else, and I am not allowed to say how old he is because he will kill me, but I will say he is old enough for that to be impressive. And it just reminds me that if, the body keeps the score, do the right things, look after yourself, and it'll pay dividends for decades to come. My 5th and final insight for this video is the Eisenhower matrix. A lot of people on my team come to me saying, Evan, my to-do list is so long, I don't have time to think, I would have so much stuff to do. The Eisenhower matrix is a great tool for this. It's a simple quadrant that you put your tasks into. I'll put it on the screen here, and it just allows you to visualize what's important, what's urgent, what you can delegate, what you don't need to do at all. And what I think is really helpful here is not to do this on like a Word doc or a Notion doc or a Google doc. Do it in something like Miro, where you can actually visualize with colors and like move things around. It's a very small difference, but it makes a big impact. Cool, those are my insights for the week. A little bit of everything this week. As for the Art of Mondays and numbers, which I know you've all been waiting for, I'm going to put these on the screen because I don't have my laptop in front of me, and I decided I'm just going to go old school this week. So I'll put them on screen and highlight anything that is important. But I will leave you with 2 questions to ponder. The first one is, what part of you do you wish others knew more, and how can you start showing it? And my second is, who is inspiring you right now, and can you go tell them? That's it. That's Monday Journal 39. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry fam, I realized I forgot to share something with you that I promised I would. My learnings from hiring 2 C-suite roles. So I've hired a COO for the Founders Sports Club and a COO for Wealth Walks over the last month, and done the onboarding and everything to do with that. And here's what I've learned. 3 tips. Firstly, hire someone who aligns with your values and your mission deeply. Second, make the application and interview process deliberately difficult so that the weak ones get filtered out and only the best of the best rise to the top. And third, and most importantly, once you find the right person, get the hell out of their way and let them work their magic, because that's what you hired them to do for. So don't be a bottleneck and don't hold them back. Also, one more thing. I think I'm going to do these Monday journals roughly monthly instead of weekly. 2 reasons for that. Firstly is because I want them to be as impactful and valuable as they possibly can. And often not that much stuff happens in a week. So I think monthly is better for that. And then secondly, it's because honestly, it's kind of felt like a chore sometimes. And I don't think it should, because I love making these videos and I love being able to use my creative outlet. So I think if I reduce the cadence, focus on them being absolutely amazing and juicy, then I'll feel excited and motivated to do them, and then I can make sure like that they're as good as possible. But that being said, I'm also going to be sharing a lot more vlog style videos. So me walking around with the camera in places like this and showing you like the actual behind the scenes of what my life is like, because I know that that is very interesting to my mom and my dad. Just kidding. Hopefully that you guys enjoy that as well. So that's it. See you in the next episode. Peace.